Texas is favored by 14.5 against Oklahoma. Call it the Red River Rivalry. Call it the Red River Shootout. It's Red River. It's 3:30 Eastern, ABC in Dallas, Texas. This to me is one of those games that just is everything that is good and right with college football. This rivalry now has an SEC sticker on it. I think that's a good thing. Not that it matters that much. I don't think it impacts the rivalry per se, but I will say this game has always had the highest amount of passion. I think the SEC can have the discussion that they have as much passion as any other conference in college football. We got in trouble on Twitter saying that yesterday from the folks in our mentions, but it is what it is. We stand on business, still feel that way. This is one of those games you sign up for as a college football fan, right? Those two logos should be a little bit more of a crisp October. I don't know if it'll be that way in Texas necessarily, but it's a crisp October for us watching here in Nashville. College football sickos, we appreciate y'all being subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We got tons of predictions like this one. We got reactions. We got analysis. All that involving the greatest sport on the face of planet Earth. Talking about it the way that you want it talked about happens right here. Happens every single day. We appreciate you being subscribed. The Hard Count is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Daily fantasy, easy to play, easy to withdraw what you win. If you want to fade us on here, be our guest. You want to follow us here, even better. $5 in lineups when you play, and you use code HARDCOUNT at prizepicks.com. Gets you $50 in promo funds. Again, code HARDCOUNT, $5. Put a lineup together just for playing. You get $50 in promo funds to squeeze the juice out of college football season. Back to the prediction. The beautiful part about college football is when you have these logos together, or any rivalry game, you have to kind of take common sense with a grain of salt. Because common sense is telling you, hey, Texas, they should roll. 2-touchdown favorite. Oklahoma's playing a true freshman quarterback. Like, they should roll, right? I don't know. History would tell us that this game, regardless of what either team has done to this point in the year, is going to have more than a puncher's chance. And they'll bring their best to the table, okay? Last year, a great example. Texas beats Alabama week 2. They're the darling favorite to make the college football playoff, which they eventually did. Walk into this game, Dylan Gabriel runs for over 100 yards. That was the way that thing went. And Oklahoma won that football game. Now, for Texas, man, going back to what I said about how last year went, last year was a really good football team. They did not reach their ultimate goal. Like, I keep going back to this conversation from SEC Media Days because I think it's telling. Jahdae Barron, DB for Texas, came back this year. We sat down with him at Media Days and asked him just the vibe of the team. And he said, man, we're angry. We're angry because we didn't accomplish our goal from a season ago. So I think based on that conversation, Texas believes they were good last year. They weren't great. Great teams in this game handle business. All right, Texas, you want to be a great team? Go beat your rival because everything is lined up for you to get that done. True freshman quarterback, breaking in a new offensive line. Oklahoma had to get some Sooner magic to beat an Auburn team everyone has questions about. Like, if you are who you believe you are, if you're Texas, you handle business. Now for Oklahoma, man, a win for them in this game against top-ranked Texas, that would rebrand their entire season. Because everyone right now is saying, well, Oklahoma, they lost to Tennessee, and I just mentioned the Auburn game, how close that was. But if they go beat top-ranked Texas, think about how differently you view the rest of your season in terms of who you're lining up against. Like, they got a game at Ole Miss, at Mizzou, Bama, at LSU. Like, all those games now, if you can beat Texas, you say, well, why can't we beat those teams? Why can't we hold our own against the Alabama team? They just got beat by Vanderbilt. We'll talk about that game when it gets here, the Bama-Oklahoma game, that is. But the point remains here, this can breathe new confidence, new life, new juice into a team that I think already is pretty scrappy and hungry and all that's in between. For Oklahoma, man, it's coming down to what can Michael Hawkins Jr. do for you? Because I think with his legs, we know what he is. Dynamic threat, going to ad-lib, going to give you issues. And I don't have questions so much about, like, can he throw the football? That's not the point here. He's proven he can. Nice little 60-yarder to ultimately win the Auburn game, all right? Or set up a chance to win the Auburn game, rather. Was 10 for 15 against Auburn. The thing is, man, like, this is college football. This is a really good Texas outfit. This stuff is hard, okay? Like, this is a hard deal as a true freshman to step into this spot and to be able to throw the football at a high level for any true freshman, okay? how does he handle all of that? How does he handle learning on the fly? How does he handle the pressure of the moment? And going back to the original question, how multidimensional is Oklahoma able to be with him at quarterback? Because I think he has proven now he gives you the best chance to win. His mobility and the way he can create things in space, and maybe when the play isn't there, he can get north and south and get you 7 when you need 5 on third down. That's massive. That'll be a major factor in this game. To beat Texas, though, I think you have to have other answers offensively. I think you got to be able to get the football out to your playmakers. I think you got to be able to, if you're Seth Luttrell, kind of create some misdirection, some sleight of hand offensively. I'm sure they'll come with the chamber fully loaded, but Oklahoma, there's going to be multiple points where on 3rd and 7, we got to throw the football and feel confident doing so against a good Texas defense, all right? Pretty straightforward. Now, for Texas, man, last year, big reason why you lost this game, turnovers, right? Turnovers, pretty straightforward. Quinn Ewers now, a year older, a year wiser. He will be back in this game, pretty safe to assume. Is he seeing the whole picture, right? And I'm not saying he wasn't seeing the whole picture last year, but we just understand this. More experience, the game slows down for quarterbacks. Quinn Ewers right now, if you go back and watch that Michigan game, that's a good Michigan defense now with multiple NFL players. Could be 3 first-round draft picks on that defense. He was seeing it all. And Steve Sarkisian had a game plan there where he was just in his Hogwarts bag. There's no way around it. But whenever you play the Oklahoma defense, they're going to be complex. They're going to be aggressive. And we talked about it in the Tennessee game for Oklahoma. It's great to be aggressive as long as you understand now if a quarterback has got your number and is seeing it the correct way, there's some big plays on the other side of that pressure. You can't bring pressure and also cover the real estate behind you. Like it's the way that football and quite frankly the law of nature works, okay? So for Quinn Ewers, if he can go the right place with the football and diagnose the defense and deliver like a midwife, I mean, there's going to be big plays to be had, okay? Isaiah Bond, I think, is the guy to watch here. Xavier Worthy, even in a loss last year, had a very big game, in big part, I think, because of his speed and because of what Texas was able to do to get him the football in space. I think that's Isaiah Bond. A guy I'd also watch is Matthew Golden. So both those guys getting the ball in space, Quinn Ewers being able to diagnose it all and process it all properly could make the difference. Oklahoma, they have a sack rate of 11%. That is not accidental. That is not like, oh, we rushed 4 and got there with 4. Like they will bring pressure, okay? I think we'll see Oklahoma, speaking to what they need to do offensively, I think they're really going to just play to their strengths, play to their skill sets. And they did a good job doing that against Auburn. They got a dynamic quarterback, and Michael Hawkins Jr. Get him out in space. Get him on the perimeter. Give him a chance to put a defender in a bind and have a receiver behind that defender. And if he wants to try and cover Michael Hawkins Jr., great. We got a check down. If he wants to sit back there, okay, Michael Hawkins Jr., take green grass. I think it's going to be a lot of move the pocket, like I just mentioned, a lot of window dressing with some design quarterback runs, try and get that Texas defense off balance and let Michael Hawkins Jr. be special. I think they're going to do a lot to try and help him with quick game. All right? Now, with that being said now, I think Texas defensively, I expect them to play some pretty aggressive coverage. What I mean by that is I think if you're Texas, you will do everything in your power to take away the gimme throws, the easy access throws, the soft coverage throws, whatever kind of verbiage you want to put to it. They will force the issue against Michael Hawkins Jr. and try to force him to consistently make throws against what you would expect to be tight coverage. Okay, if he can do that, if that's how he beats you, you walk across the field, you shake Brent Venables' hand at the 50-yard line and say, Michael Hawkins Jr., you're that guy, all right? Now, speaking of that game going that way, like the Oklahoma upset script, which I think we at least have to acknowledge here, with them being 2 touchdown dogs, would really read very similar to last year's game in my mind. It would take turnovers. It would take dynamic quarterback play in the run game, and I think that's how you would find a way to get it done. Now, with that being said, I think the turnovers, to me, if you're Texas, would come from not being able to process the defense at a high level. Not saying that happened last year, but that would be what happens this year, in my estimation, and not having a game plan to help Quinn Ewers out. To me, I just think Steve Sarkisian is going to go into this game with an adjustable game plan. And all coaches do, I believe that, but I think that he'll have a couple of extra, if they do this, we do that. If they want to give us this coverage, we'll attack them this way. Like I think he's going to have a lot of answers to what Oklahoma is going to try and do. So for that reason, I'm going to take Texas. I wouldn't touch the spread. Just between you and me now, this is just you and I talking, I would not touch the spread. 14.5 feels like a sucker bet. If it hits, let it happen. But again, rivalry game, freshman quarterback, dynamic quarterback, like this screams to me, do not touch this spread, all right? So I'll take Texas to win 33-20. Again, I think if you had to pick a side here, Oklahoma, I think they cover that if you're asking me to pick against the spread. But again, I would not touch it. Feels like a horrible, horrible play there.